Hey, board gamers, PJ from Board Game Gumbo here.
We're back in the gumbo pot.
Back in the Gumbo pot. It's a brand new year, Jerod, but that doesn't mean we're finished.
No, it's not.
We still have some unfinished business left to do. We were supposed to do this, but for
A while ago.
for reasons that we won't go into,
Jerod?
Jerod, we had to postpone our top 10 list. We did publish a list along with Jay and with Mitchell
And Dave.
and Dave.
Which was really cool. I didn't realize you were adding in everybody to that list. So that was really cool. That was really cool to see.
I thought Jeremy was going to send one. Bradley was going to send one.
They didn't send one?
Carlos sent a top 4. You can't do a top 4 or a top 5. I can't remember what it was. What's other? So let's get right to the top 10 of 2022 list, starting with Jerod's number 10.
And my number 10 is a roll and write from Motor City Games called Three Sisters. If you haven't played any of their games before, they have what's the automobile one? The car racing one?
Yeah, that one's not out yet, though.
Oh, okay.
But Fleet the Dice game is theirs.
Fleet the Dice game.
We also did that French Quarter game.
So much crunchiness in it. This is 25th Century Games and Motor City Games, and it's just such a crunchy game. There's so much going on. It gives me that feeling of like Hadrian's Wall, but instead of building a defensive wall, I'm trying to build the biggest farm, right?
It reminded me. Hadrian's Wall reminded me of Three Sisters. This is a smaller package and smaller play
Smaller
time.
game, yeah.
So much more up my alley. I love the theme of Three Sisters. It's fantastic. My number 10 is going to be one that unfortunately neither one of us own, and we don't know anybody that does own it, and it's Sea Salt and Paper. But I know this game. Don't think I don't know this game because I've literally played it dozens of times already. In fact, I'm in 2 games right now on BGA. If you want to try it, it's a very small card game by Bruno Cathala and someone else. I can't remember now. Small box game. It is fantastic. It is very chaotic, though, Jay.
And it's from Bombyx, who do the what's the other one we've been playing a lot recently? The card one, the flip card. Oh,
which one is that?
With the one we just streamed the other night with Jesse.
Codex Naturalis?
Yeah.
That's the same.
Yeah, that Bombyx.
Yeah,
Codex Naturalis, which we've been playing quite a bit recently. So they do the same thing.
What did Tyrone was that?
Sea Salt and Paper. Oh, he said got me playing it on BGA.
Oh, it was us. We got you started.
Oh, I love it. So I think I have like 150 plays on BGA already.
Yeah, you've got more than me, but I've got dozens of plays.
I love it.
I love it. Somebody beat me with the 4 mermaids.
He said Theo Revere.
Oh yeah, Theo Revere. That's right.
Revere.
So
Okay.
he's got a lot of other games too. I lost by the 4 mermaids the other day. First time it ever happened. Have you ever won with the 4
I've
mermaids?
won and lost by both the 4 mermaids. So
I wasn't paying
the
attention.
first time I got it, I'm like, how did he score 100 points? What is going on? And then you realize, oh, he got 4 mermaids. So in BGA, when you get 4 mermaids, it just gives you 100 points. I wonder if that's in the actual rules. In the actual rules, it says, if you get 4 mermaids, you get 100 points.
I don't own the game, so I'm gonna get a copy of that game at some point.
We've seen it. Bombyx has it on their website. We live in the United States. It's going to cost us twice as much to ship it as it is to buy the $12 card game. I just can't do it.
Why did Matt have to move back to Madrid? Because I'd have bought 5 copies of it. And I'm not joking. I would actually buy 4 or 5 copies because I would give it away as copies. As
It's
gifts.
$12.
Yeah.
It costs $12.
Go get this game. It's chaos. So I'm going to tell you. But I think we're going to be talking about it a little bit more later. So potentially.
We'll probably talk a little bit more later.
All right, number 9 on my list is a game we played the other day, The Great Split.
Fantastic.
The Great Split is an I split you choose game with track-to-track game mashed together. The design, the aesthetic is gorgeous. The production is fantastic. You got this. It's not like art as in Mr. Cuddington's beautiful art or Andrew Boswell or Beth Sobel or something like that. It's more just this elegance in the art.
Oh,
it just
absolutely.
looks
It's simplistic.
It's super simple.
It's a very simple art style, but it looks really, really nice. And how they've generated all the colors on the board, especially for the different tracks. Like you have brown as one of the tracks, and yet it looks really nice.
It's a bunch of different colors. So one of the cool things about this game, if you haven't played it yet, The Great Split is it's one that's kind of going under the radar a little bit, and it shouldn't because it plays up to 7 people. takes about 40 minutes. And it doesn't matter how many players you have. It's still going to only take you about 30 or 40 minutes.
7 Wonders.
Most of the time you're playing at the same time.
That's it. 7 Wonders.
It's
you can play 7 Wonders with 3 people or 7 people. It's still going to take you 45 minutes.
It's not the same game, but it's a 7 Wonders killer for me because of the play count and the play time. I'd rather play 7 Wonders Architect anyway than base 7 Wonders. Now, if we're talking 7 Wonders with like Armada or something, yes, absolutely. I want to play that over 7 Wonders Architects. But 7 Wonders Architects and the Great Split in your collection, you don't need very many other 7-player games.
You absolutely don't.
Yeah. Well,
it's simple. They're both. It's a very simple game. Anybody, even gamers who aren't really familiar with the game, could probably play one round and go, "Oh, okay, this is what's going on." The most confusing part is in-game scoring, and it's more confusing in, well, what do you mean by this points and multiplied by this? So breaking down, if you can spend 10 minutes to break down the scoring, like, hey, this is how in-game scoring works, I think anybody can pick this game up. It plays super well at 7 players, and I just really enjoy it.
Once you play it the first time, you figure out the scoring for the next time.
Or sorry, I say 7 players. It plays super well at high player counts.
In fact, I like the fact that they do the scoring during the middle because it really does help you understand at least the color scoring, maybe not the contract scoring.
Yeah.
But once you play the game once, you could set it up to play again. You're going to totally understand everything about
Absolutely.
the game. So that's number 9. That's my number 9, the Great Split. I noticed that Time Roller says that the rules just say it's an instant win. So.
Oh, okay.
So.
But BJ just gives you 100 points.
And we're talking about sea salt and paper. Thank you for clearing that. Yeah, they just give you 100 points. So what was your number 9?
So my number 9 is a asymmetrical game called Free Radicals, which we have here. So that is by Whiz Kids. If you've watched our channel before, you see that you may have seen the videos of how much we play Merchant's Cove, which is another game just like this. That's everybody plays a completely asymmetrical faction. Think of something like Root if you haven't heard of any of these games. And I love that concept. I love the asymmetrical starts. I love how everybody plays different. You play the hoteliers and I play the delivery. And we're playing 2 totally different games, but we're scoring the same way, and we're both scoring points on an equal track. And then there's a center track that we can both visit these different towers and cities to get actions. And I just love it.
I was surprised and not surprised that this was on you and Jay's list.
I was actually surprised it was so high on Jay's list.
That did shock me. It surprised me because we like Merchant's Cove, and I thought that Free Radicals would be like, oh, I don't need it in my top 10. But it didn't surprise me because I have played it a bunch with him, and I know how much you like this game. I actually dig it too. My only issue with it is that there's so many factions. I want to keep playing it. I got to play other games.
I know.
So Free Radicals, that's not really a bad thing. It's a good thing.
It's what I enjoy because
we should play it tomorrow night.
It's why I love Merchant's Cove, because I can go and play Merchant's Cove 3 times in a month and play a different faction each time, and I've played a completely different game, yet I've played the same game, and I don't need to learn completely brand new rules. I just need to learn, how do I get points on my guy? Perfect.
So JB Howell, who I've met a couple of times and worked in conventions because I was doing Reavers of Midgard, which he designed. He's also the co-designer of Free Radicals. JB, I want more players. I want more characters. Even though I haven't even explored all these yet. I think we've played about half of the characters. Roughly.
No, we've played at least 3 times, and everyone's with 3 or 4 players. So we've probably played every character. Every character has been played. I've probably played 4 characters.
Yeah, I know.
So Time Roll is saying he heard that Free Radicals was a bit unbalanced. How do you feel? It's the same way I feel about Merchant's Cove. I feel like in Merchant's Cove, the Oracle is ridiculously hard. It is so challenging compared to like the Blacksmith, which I think is incredibly easy. I don't care. It doesn't bother me at all, because if you can figure out your character, you're going to score a lot of points.
It's not that they're unbalanced. It's that whoever figures out their character
it's a difficulty level.
is going to win. Yeah.
They're just vastly different level difficulty.
But that's the fun in it. It's like, oh man, I didn't figure that character out until the 3rd round. I'm going to take it on again.
I remember he played the Blacksmith, and I was playing, I don't remember who I was playing, and I'm like, how are you scoring so many points? I don't understand what you're doing. And then I played the Alchemist, which is Potion Explosion, and I'm just creating tons and tons of goods. So it's learning those characters, and some do take a bit more than others. Like I played the artists. Is that what it is? The artists, and really difficult.
It's
and
the
there's
entertainers, right?
Entertainers, that's what it was.
Yeah, entertainers.
And they are really difficult. And I
That's
found that with the entertainer, that their building seemed like it was the weakest compared to everyone. So there's other ways to win, and it's kind of working around those positives and weaknesses to the character set. So I don't really mind it. You know, I think if you play with the wrong people, they may tend to only play the really strong factions. But you're going to do the same thing when people play Clans of Caledonia. There are clearly better or lesser characters in Clans of Caledonia, and that's an amazing game.
So our number 9s were the Great Split and Free Radicals. What was your number 8?
My number 8, which I haven't got to play in person,
This
but
one
I've played.
completely shocked me, by the way.
I haven't played in person, but I've got to play it quite a bit.
I'm calling shenanigans on this one. But.
On BGA. I think I have 20, 30 plays on BGA.
You played it that often, okay? I
Yeah.
only played it once or twice. I'm like, what's he putting it on?
No, I have probably 20, 25-ish games on it on BGA. Because the games take probably about a couple weeks to play, depending on how much the players are playing.
Live or just turn-based?
I played turn-based and live. Zach and I played live together. And that's Carnegie. Sorry, I haven't even talked about it. It is Carnegie. You've probably seen it out there recently. A lot of people are talking about it.
Who also designed this cool Wild West game that I played a long time ago. And then a couple other games. He's got a lot of games out.
Okay.
So he does a lot of games with this particular publisher. That's Carnegie. It's a game I've only played on BGA, and I honestly don't understand it. So I need a live play on it. It's not going to make my top 20 list unless I.
The thing with Carnegie is you have to understand in-game scoring. If you don't understand in-game scoring, the game, you're like, where did you just get 50 points from? It's in-game scoring. That's the big key to it. So getting from one side of the map to the other is going to get you points. The more cities you connect, and then how you set up your in-game scores.
Time Roller, I think I actually saw you stream Carnegie before. Or maybe you were opening it up. I don't remember, but I need a teacher.
It is it's a ton of fun.
You know what we're gonna do one of these nights is like on a Friday night, just get on BGA, get on Discord, and you can walk me through that scoring.
I've
what else
tried.
likes it is Cam.
I've thought about buying it so many times, but I just can't pull the trigger because I know Leander's never going to play it.
Dude, I'll play
it. I know, but.
I like his games, so
I'll have to look into it and see if I'll end up purchasing. But I've wanted to own it. I just have never pulled the trigger on buying it. But I have played it on BGA, and it's a ton of fun. I really, really enjoy it.
All right. So that is Carnegie, your number 8. My number 8 is a game I know you like, and that's Endless Winter Paleo Americans. Fantastic game with the Micho art, and also it's right up there. Paleo Americans, you can see it on our channel. We've streamed it a bunch of times. We're going to stream it some more because we have a couple of more expansions to play. I played it on the TTS version, and I already knew that I would like it, and the base game and everything else. I could play just the base game. The base game is fun, but the Rivers and Rafts game is the one I think I like better, and I think you like the Ancestors.
Some area control?
Yeah, I do. I know it doesn't make any sense, but it's also the fact that you get those little, the little special powers as you're going down.
Yeah.
I really do like
everything in that game gives you a bonus. It feels like a roll and write, one of these heavy roll and writes. Everything you do can give you bonus actions, can give you bonus space, points out. Yeah, there's points everywhere. There's actions everywhere. There's extra bits and pieces everywhere.
But you're right though. But in the first round, I'm thinking, well, I'm not going to be able to do very much in this game.
Yeah, you burned through the whole first round, and I only got like 3 things.
You did your 3 things and you got nothing. By the end of it, it's like that bubble wrap popper where you're just going pop, pop, pop. I did this to do this to do this. So it's a deck builder. By the way, it's the year of the deck builder plus. It seems like for the last year or two.
It's a deck builder, but it's like a Lost Ruins of Arnak deck builder where you're not building. A really primed out. I'm removing as many cards as possible to make this a Dominion or Ascension or anything like that. Where you're really trying to cull and build this really impressive deck. It's this extra deck builder. It's this. It's a deck builder. The Lost Ruins of Arnak is a deck builder, but
deck builder plus.
Yeah, is that what
deck builder plus worker placement in Lost Ruins of Arnak plus the little tracks, right? Yeah. Research track. This one is deck builder plus. And Johnny Pack and the rest of the designers, they threw everything in there. I think it's Stan Kordonsky is the actual designer.
Like Merchant's Cove, all these little tiny mini expansions. It's like, here, just add an elephant to this board.
Yeah, all the modules.
The whole module is just adding an elephant, but that mammoth, does a ton of stuff.
Yeah.
So
so there's so many more modules we need to explore. But it's the deck builder plus that I like. It's deck building Plus, it's got some area control. Plus, it's got the ruins. What it's called.
It's got a rolling right. If you
Plus,
add that in there.
There's so much to the game. That is a fantastic one, and that is my number 8. So we're on to number 7. My number 7 we talked about already, and that's Three Sisters from Matt Riddle and Pin.
I was surprised you put it. I wasn't sure if you were going to put it on there. I was putting it on there. I said, "Ooh, I might be able to sneak this one on there." I don't know if he'll put that one on there.
No, actually, I love that. I love Three Sisters. In fact, we should play that again sometime. So
we should play.
Let's go to your
We just streamed
number
that. What 2 months ago? I think.
I know, but I have like 100 papers in my pad. I want to play it again. So that is my number 7. Three Sisters. We talked about it earlier, but what is your number 7?
My number 7, which is called 10 Penny Parks. So that is from Thunderworks Games, and it's Nate Laneri. Is that what it is?
Nate Leonard.
Is that? Sorry, I cannot read. Apparently, I can't read.
It's right over there.
And that is kind of that.
Actually, watch him do some magic. It's right here. Yeah, that's 10 Penny Parks from Thunderworks Games. I love theme park games. I know
you have a whole shelf of theme park games.
I do have a whole shelf full of them. This is the best one I've played.
Yeah,
I like it better than Steve Park. I like it better than Adventureland or any of those other theme park games. Meeple Land. This is my favorite so far. My favorite theme park game. Number 1, it plays in under an hour. It's like this little 1 hour wonder.
It feels like
absolutely gorgeous art from Vincent Dutrait. The economic system.
It feels so much like Barren Park to me. It's this like those 2 games you can play them both in 45 minutes, and you're getting this little tile playing.
It's the economic part where you and I are trying to figure out who's going to be one step above get the 3 bonuses.
If you finish around with 3 bonuses, you might as well cash your check because you just won the game. If somebody gives you all 3 bonuses, the next round, they're just doing whatever they want.
10 Penny Parks.
They're getting first place. They're getting extra money. They're getting bonus points. Oh, it's a fantastic game.
So that was your number 7.
That was my number 7.
That was your number 7. So let's go to your number 6. Your number 6.
My number 6 is the Guild of Merchant Explorers, which you've streamed. I don't think you and I have actually streamed together. My wife and I have played it. You've let us borrow it. We've played it. So Guild of Merchant Explorers from AEG. This is a fantastic.
Amarillo says he loves it.
Oh, it's fantastic. This is this single point exploration game where you're building out your train, starting from your major cities, trying to get out as far.
Where you don't roll and write.
It's a roll and place cubes. It's a draw and cube. That's what it is. You draw cards.
It's a roll and write.
And you drop cubes.
Where you don't roll and write.
My City. If you play anything like My City, you're telling you what to play. It's telling what action to take. But instead of putting a tile down, you're putting cubes in a line or there's a couple different patterns that you can do.
I want more maps.
Oh yeah, please.
This is my wife's 2nd or 3rd favorite game of all time. I'm not kidding. I think Arnak is her favorite game. This is very close. It's in her top 2 or 3 games. She loves this game. We just want more maps. Len and I have played every single map at least 2 or 3 times. So
the thing about this game, it's my favorite part of the game, is that the first round, everybody's doing almost the exact same thing, right? Yeah. Because the maps are exactly the same, and we all want the bonus places, the bonus money, whatever. So we're all doing almost the exact same thing. And then you get your special powers, and everything shifts. You go that way, I go this way. I'm hunting these because my special power gives me a ton of water movement. Yours gives you a ton of grass movement, so you're going down grass routes. That's the part I enjoy the most about it is you play the first round, you go, we're just going to finish the game doing the exact same thing. And then you get to the second round, and everybody's map looks completely different.
I totally agree. It's the twist in this game is those little cards that give you the special powers. When you get them, you get so excited. Especially if I remember right, it's you get 2 and you pick one.
Yep. Yeah. So you draw 2, pick 1. Yeah.
And if you're smart, after you play the game a couple times, you start chaining up the 3. You're actually picking the ones not based on which one is a better power. You pick the one that complements your other powers.
Yeah.
And if you do that right, now in that last round, Matthew Dunson
and then on top of it, you don't actually know what order things are coming out.
Right.
So you try to chain it, and you go, crud, now I need to rearrange my chain because the cards came out differently.
Matthew Dunson and Brett J. Gilbert hit a home run with this game. More people need to play the Guild of Merchant Explorers. It's a fantastic game. That's great. A good choice.
It is great.
That's a good choice from you. That was your number
6.
Number 6?
Yep.
All right, so my number 6 is Green Team Wins. Green Team Wins is fantastic.
I have not played it.
Green Team Wins is a game you can play with almost anybody, almost any night. It's really a party game made for big groups. I don't think it's going to be fun when you're just playing with your game group. This is where everybody's sitting around in the living room like we had for the our Christmas thing. We had, you weren't there for that. We had for the Christmas thing, we had about 18 people playing at one time. There's only 12, but we were all partnered up. So husbands and wives and moms and daughters and all that were all partnered up. I was the MC. I was basically the moderator, just keeping everything moving, and it's just fantastic. The premise is very simple. You're just trying to stay
Green
on.
Green Team wins.
You're just trying to stay on the green team. The green team is whoever you answer a simple question, either best of 3 or this or that or fill in the blank, and everybody does group things. So it's like, do you want to be kissed by a butterfly or by a dog, or something like that? And everybody has to decide. Do you squeeze the toothpaste or do you roll the toothpaste? Everybody tries to decide on that, and then you vote. You write down your little secret vote, and then you try to get into the majority, the group thing. If you can stay on the green team, you score more points. If you get off the green team, you don't score any points. So, I mean, that's as simple. It's a couple of rules, easy to teach, and it's a lot of fun.
I didn't get to play it.
You still haven't played it yet?
I have not played it.
Okay. We got to get you on that then. Number 5 is Toledo. Toledo is a game I don't think that Jerod's played yet.
Again, have not played yet.
Okay, Toledo is the next one in the T series. This is my favorite T game of all. I've only played it twice, so yeah, those are bold words. But I'm telling you, it's a little bit simpler than all of the other T games that I've played.
Any of them.
They're all really, really crunchy, great Euros.
Tolkien is all about corn.
Toledo
corn,
is
you
a
totally
little bit,
missed it.
exactly. Toledo is a little bit under that in terms of complexity, but what it has is the thing you and I like in Origins or any of these other games, where you're selecting dice and you're getting cool stuff from the dice. So you'll pick the 5 blue or the 5 gold dice, and that's going to give you not only that much in terms of resources to use, but it also determines how many actions you have left.
Oh, okay.
So you got these multi-use dice, and the first round is just like any other good engine builder, where the first round you're going, wait, I'm taking only 12 actions during the game? I'm not going to get anything in these first 3 actions. Nothing. And then in the last round, I mean, you take 1 dice, and it goes...
Oh, Zapotec. It felt like Zapotec, because that was Zapotec we've done. So my number 5, we've already talked about that, Sea Salt and Paper. Not really more to go into it other than it is a fantastic card game.
We talked about it already.
And then,
what's your number 4?
My number 4 is Starship Captains. So this is a really cool game. It's another one that goes, I don't have a lot of actions. How are we going to do that much? And then by the time you get through the 4 eras or whatever, or the rounds, whatever that the game lists those 4 rounds as,
4 rounds, yep.
You have taken 25 actions, and you've done all this stuff, and you've captured 4 different planets, and you have all these people in front of you. It's a fantastic game. I love the upgrade system and how you may need red guys so you can do the movement action, but you don't have any, so I have to use my metals to turn this gray into a red so I can actually move, and all these different things. I love it. It was a ton of fun. So I've played it twice so far with you.
It's all right.
In person.
Man.
Yeah, okay.
No, we might be talking.
We'll see. we might be talking about that later on.
Yeah. And while we're talking about your number 4, which is Starship Captains, we're talking about number 4 for me is Tenpenny Parks. We've already discussed Tenpenny Parks. Fantastic art from Vincent Dutray. Great play. Go out and play Tenpenny Parks. It was actually in the running for my game of the year.
It's really
Seriously,
good. It's really good.
Parks
it's
all
really good.
year.
Honestly, if these games came out earlier and then Tenpenny Parks came out more recently, I may have gone and put Tenpenny Parks higher. But it did come out earlier in the year. We played it a whole bunch, and then we haven't played it much recently.
We haven't. Yeah.
And I haven't got that recent feel to it. If we probably would have played it again right before we made these lists, it might have actually.
I think I put that in my blog.
It might have gone higher in my list.
It would probably be back at the top spot, because for the entire year, the Guild of Merchant Explorers and Tenpenny Parks was my number 1 game.
And then you got a whole bunch of hits.
Then I played a bunch of other games.
Stuff in December, right before the list comes out. Yeah.
Well, I went to BGG Con. That kind of opened up. Let's go to number 3. My number 3 is Mosaic, A Story of Civilization. I think you talked about it already. No, not yet.
No.
Mosaic, A Story of Civilization.
So it's a Civ game without really any fighting, But there is technology trees that goes down to. There is you can get government styles into your civilization. So it is a civ builder on just kind of a simpler level. It's simple to understand, not too crazy, but there's you're trying to build all these different symbols. You're collecting the music symbols, the building symbols, stone. There's what is it, like 20 different symbols.
The only reason this one isn't higher, and it's the only reason, is that I have not played it at 2-player, and I just want to see if at 2-player, if it still holds up. Because if it does, my wife already likes it. And if it turns out to be a really good 2-player game, man, this is a game I'm going to play a lot. There is one bad thing about it. It's the setup. The setup
is a killer.
Some people may complain about the lack of fighting because it's not a real big component. But to me, this is not a 4X game. You don't have to worry about that. This is a Civ game. So if you like anything to do with tech trees, any kind of technology building, any kind of exploration, any kind of advancement games, this is the best one I've played. Now, admittedly,
a true engine to it, but there is sort of this like
a little bit of an
collection system that helps you build faster and faster. So the more symbols you have, the quicker you can build technology. You need less resources, less money you have to spend, because monies are wild. So you can spend money in place of symbols, and then there's what I really enjoyed was that there are 12 or 15 different achievements that are met at the end of the game, or that are met during the game. First one to get to 6 of all 15 different symbols.
Yep.
Then there are another 6 that just say, first one to do this many times, first one to do this many times, first one to do this. And so you're going in the beginning already knowing where can I get points, how can I score those, and how can I take as many of those as possible. Because every one you grab gives you bonus stuff. If you get the first 6 stone symbols, you immediately get to build a free city. That's a whole extra action you just get for free. And it's
2 players?
Fantastic.
What does Time Roller say?
He said it's faster and it's good.
Well, good. All right, we're going to try that out. So that is Mosaic, A Story of Civilization, a game I have in my top 3. What is your number 3?
My number 3 we already talked about, which is The Great Split. I have it at my number 3 because I've only played it once. And that's not to say there's a chance it could get higher on my list. I don't think it would go down. I think it would only increase to go to either 2 or 1. But I've only got to play it once, but I thoroughly enjoyed the playthrough. The I split you choose thing makes the decision making so much fun. I'm sitting here going, I need this. How do I entice you to take this so I can keep this? Which I think on one of them I gave you 3 points and 3 gems and 2 of another gem just so I can get the 2 ribbons, because I wanted and I needed those 2 ribbons, so I had to entice you.
I was playing it the other night with Laney and Connor and Mitchell and Jay, and I figured out that Laney loves those points. So I just, everything I wanted her to take, I would just throw
a point card in there?
3 and 4 point cards, and she'd go, and she would take it, which is good for her because she did really well. I don't mean it like that. It's just I was able to kind of
understand,
jury rig it to where I wanted the other side.
I had the same thing with Dave. I knew what Dave was doing, and so I'm going, okay, well, I know he threw this one in because this is the one he wants. Some of them I let go because I just needed the other stuff, and he knew it. And some of them I just took the thing I didn't want because I know he needed it.
I tried to psych you out, and I ended up losing, right? Dave killed us. I think I tried to psych you out too much, if I remember.
Yeah, I think so. I think Dave won.
Or did you win?
No, I don't think I won anything.
So in the one I played with Mitchell and all them, I didn't try to psych anybody out. I took the ones I always needed.
Did you win?
I won. For the first time ever, I won the Great Split. I was so happy.
I
tried my little strategy that I don't want to spoil it. Watch the video, and you'll see me talking about a strategy I wanted to play, and I ran it this time, and it ran really well. Nice. Looking for one of those tracks that has a lot of contracts, and then maxing out the bonuses. And I scored a ton of points on it. Number 2 on your top 10 of 2022, Jerod.
My number 2, we already talked. We're coming down to the wire here, so we've probably already talked about everything. But my number 2 was Endless Winter Pay the Americans. The best game out there? No. But this year and playing in this game when it came out, it has been such a blast to play. The deck building, there's not a ton of variety, but how you do those small little bits of cards, I found to be just entirely entertaining. And then when you add in these expansions like the Rivers and Rafts, and you get this kind of area control map where you can really bonus out some resources or some victory points, I just find it to be a ton of fun. and I just been really enjoying it.
So I'm really digging these Deck Builder Plus games. Endless Winter, Lost Ruins of Ornak, Dune Imperium. And the reason is because there's a story that develops as you play the game. And that's how it is with Endless Winter. You start getting these tribe members into your tribe.
Resurgence.
You start getting these, I forget is it culture cards? Is that what it's called?
Yeah, the little, like, basically like an action card.
Yeah, little action cards. And all of a sudden, it's like your tribe takes on this persona and you start figuring out, oh, these are the little synergies that I can get to do in that second and third rounds. Is it 3 rounds or 4?
Four rounds, yeah.
4. In the later rounds. That's what I'm digging. I love that puzzle of how can I really maximize my actions in the last couple of weeks. First time I played it, I did terrible. But since then, I've gotten better and better at extending my game. And I'm just digging it.
Yeah.
All of these games like that, like Everdell, Ornak, all these games where you can plan it out for the next round.
Of, because there's the night phase, the what is it called again? I forgot what it's called. The eclipse phase.
Yep.
In between the rounds, where you can set up to get some really interesting bonuses during those eclipse phases. Where, oh man, I had no axes, but because I did this and I'm on this place, I'm gonna get 3 axes during the eclipse.
Yeah, we need
Perfect.
to check this
I
out.
can spend this turn grabbing these 2 creatures or resetting this deck, because the very first thing I'm going to do is go here and hunt 3 animals.
Stan Kordonsky also designed a Resurgence, and I see him talking about that. Time Roller's talking about it. So we need to check that out. We both like Lockup, right? You're Lockup.
I've only played it once.
Okay.
I've only got to play it once.
Lockup fan. That's another Stan Kordonsky game. And you've never played Old West Impresario, so we need to get.
I don't know what that is.
Before. That's another Stan Kordonsky game. So my number 2 is a game we've already talked about before, so we won't spend a lot of time. The Guild of Merchant Explorers. I talked a lot about it. Fantastic. All I'm going to say is AG, get us more maps.
Yeah,
what I want.
absolutely. Get more maps.
I want to see more.
Get more
maps.
player powers. Figure out a way to do some more of these player powers, because I think that is what makes that game to me, is those random player powers that come out and figuring out how can I use this on this map effectively to score these big points, to hit the wizard towers, to hit the different shipwrecks and get those free, or those little tokens, bonus tokens, bonus cards. I think the player powers is really what sets that game apart. It really makes that game as far as variability and how to actually master the maps, and I think it's just a ton of fun.
Well, the thing is, the Fleur de Ludo Awards are very prestigious, mostly talked about among the giant community right here in this room. The Fleur de Ludo Awards will come out in June, and by that time we'll have John Company played. We'll have a bunch of these other games. So this is the way too early top 10 list. But our number 1 game, way too early, before we played all these other games, is, what's yours?
Mosaic, A Story of Civilization.
Okay, good. Mosaic.
We got to play it. We played it all the way up to 5 players, and though it did take a little bit of time, a chunk of time, I think it was like 2 hours that it ended up taking us at 5 players.
And my number 1 was a difficult choice, but not that difficult. Starship Captains has been the most fun I've played of any of the Euros, and I'm not always going to pick a Euro, but it's pretty close to being the number 1 game I'm going to pick every year, and that is Starship Captains. It's a first-time designer, as far as I know, Peter Hofgaard, and I can't believe this. Right out the back, this what did he say?
He says this is pre-ordered, so he said you're rubbing it in.
What's that?
He said his is pre-ordered, so you're rubbing it in.
I know every time we talk, Time Roller says it's pre-ordered. I know everybody hasn't played this game yet. Starship Captains is just right up my alley. The more I play it, the more I love the fact that it is what I like. Thematic Euros. I will play a Beige is the Rage dry Euro.
I know.
I love it. I have no problems with that. But do I like it better when it's a thematic Euro? Absolutely.
Yeah.
And this one is a thematic Euro. You actually feel like you're doing stuff. They're not like red and yellow cubes all over the place. They're your little people that are navigating through the starship or punching aliens in the face. I mean,
or diplomats. They're going out there and talking to alien races.
Your tech guys, like they're working on your little tech parts of the ship.
Yeah.
I love the fact that as you're exploring, the board is constantly changing. You have to keep an eye out on what's happening on the board. Starship Captains, it was pretty easy.
And you get to plan it out because you know where the next mission is going to go.
Yep.
So you can set up and say, hey, look, I can't get over here right now, but I know the mission in two mission completions is coming right here. I'm going to go set myself up right here. and ready to collect.
I'm not a Trekkie, right? So I've watched a little bit of Star Trek, and I've seen a few of the movies. I don't consider myself a Trekkie, but even
I'm not a Trekkie either.
Even I love all the inside jokes that they have inside the the artwork is fantastic.
Yeah.
Take the time to look at it when you get a chance. So,
It is. It's really good.
Time Roller, you should pre-order that one. Well, that's our top 10 of 2022 from BJ and Jerod. Until next time, for Jerod and BJ, Laissez, temps, rouler.